In the summer of 1497, a small ship approached a coastline few Europeans had ever seen. On board was an Italian navigator sailing under an English flag. His name was John Cabot, or as he was known in London, Giovanni. The English crown, hungry for new horizons while Spain and Portugal built their empires, had quietly placed its hopes on this man. For weeks, the sea had been an endless expanse of slate-gray waves and low clouds. The only sounds were the creaking of wood and the howl of the wind. Then, one morning, the fog thinned. A dark line appeared on the horizon. It was land. A continent so vast, no mapmaker had yet imagined its true size. Cabot stood at the bow, his cloak pressed against him by the wind, staring at the unknown. The ship drifted toward a world seemingly untouched by Europe's ambitions. Dense forests rose from the shore, stretching farther than the eye could see, their depths alive with unseen creatures. Rivers shone like silver threads in the morning light. It all felt ancient, patient, and far removed from the wars and crowns of the old world. When Cabot finally stepped onto a stony beach somewhere near modern day Newfoundland, his boots sank slightly into the damp sand. He planted a small flag bearing the crest of England's King Henry VII. The gesture was simple, almost silent, but it marked the beginning of something immense, the first English claim in North America. This single act was a spark that would, over centuries, grow into settlements, cities, and eventually, a nation. Of course, people were already here. The Micmac, the Beothuk, and many other nations knew these shores as home. They likely watched the strange ship from a distance, wary and curious. Cabot saw signs of their presence, footprints, small camps, the faint smoke of distant fires, but on that day the two worlds did not meet. History, it seems, sometimes begins in silence. Cabot stayed only long enough to gather proof of this new land's abundance. He saw fish so plentiful the sea itself looked alive, and forests thick with game. Then he turned his small ship back toward England, carrying with him enormous promises. At the time, London barely understood what he had found. But the young English empire now had a doorway to the west. And there, on a quiet shoreline in a forgotten dawn, the first chapter of Canada's colonial story had been written.